Instill.
Inspire others.
And support your hero.
Welcome to Team Hard Way to Success.
I think the first time I came here, I came here for a coaching course. My coach was on a coaching course, and we came here, and I remember that was the first time I trained, and we went and explored the grounds, and I wasn't part of national squad then, so like just being in the centre was incredible. And then I made my first national squad when I was second year Espoir, so yeah, that was quite scary, being here with all the girls. It was quite intimidating, but you soon adjust and get to make friends with all of them, and it's great. Just because when I was young, I moved gym when I was around 11, 12, and I was elite, but I wasn't really high up the rankings. And then I moved club because my coach left, and then suddenly my second year Espoir I came second. I just felt like I wasn't really meant to be there, you know. But then when you get to squads and you see what everyone else is doing, it like pushes you along, and yeah, she's been there since really.
She's fantastic to work with. Her focus is fantastic. She's really determined. She's really self-driven. She's actually a pleasure to work with. She wants to know all about all the detail, the fine detail of it, of where she can pick this extra 10th up here or 10th up there. So it's really good. It's a nice attribute to have for a gymnast. And we just get on well, and we work well together.
GBR just coming up in the last few years. It's just amazing to be on this team, but yeah, just every time you come here training here and you see all the other girls training, it just pushes you on and just gives you that motivation to keep going. Yeah, and going to events competing for Great Britain is just, there's no feeling like it really.
Well, I think she won the junior British Championships, and then the following year after that she won the senior British Championships. And I think then that was amazing for her.
But that was the time when I really thought like, this is what I'm doing it for, because it was just an amazing achievement. Yeah, and then I think just competing at the American Cup and the Worlds, like they're just another few competitions that just stay in my mind really.
I think just herself in herself, and feeling that she was achieving, she was still pushing forward, and she was comfortable about her routine. She was nailing her routines, and she was like really happy. She was in a good place at that stage. I think there's always pressure once you've become the senior British champion. You're at the top in your country, so you know there's really only one place to go from there, and you've got such amazing talented gymnasts, you know, underneath you that all want to be in that same position as you. So that from that point of view, yeah, there is pressure, but she handled it like really well. It's just a shame that she couldn't defend her title the following year, really.
Well, I was really excited to go to Europeans. It wasn't a team Europeans, it was individual. I just went there with a few goals to make the all-round final and hopefully a beam final. And yeah, but it didn't quite go to plan.
It was tough actually. We were out in the warm-up hall and she went to do one of her tumbles. It was the 1.5 twist punch straight front fall, and in the 1.5 twist we're going into the round off, she caught her toe on the Velcro.
I went back quickly and like rushed to do it again, and then the next time I went I rolled my ankle over, and then it swelled up and I couldn't train for a day or two, but we thought it would be fine just to strap it up and get going.
In hindsight, we probably should have said, okay, no, let's come out and let's not do it. But it's her first senior Europeans, and she was desperate to do it. And we talked about it with the medical staff and our head national coaches, and we were like, no, fine, we can do this. We can push for this.
And then we competed, and I did a good bars, and then went to beam. And when I landed my layout, my knee just like snapped. I just felt a snap in my knee, and I think it was just the whole process. My foot wasn't great, but I didn't really want to get off the beam at the Europeans because I didn't know what it was. It might not be something serious. So, and the adrenaline, like you don't feel the pain as much. So I just carried on, and then on my dismount, it snapped even more, and then I knew something was wrong.
I wasn't sure because I'd never had a gymnast before that was torn an ACL. We had our doc with us for BG, and he didn't know, wasn't too sure either. You're just that uncertain. You're not sure if she just jarred it or something. But her reaction when she was out the back as well, then she tried to weight bear on it and couldn't. She had no stability in her leg at all. And at that stage, we knew that it was something that was quite major.
Well, I got stretchered off when I was in the back, like in the doctor's room, and I remember thinking, like, have I just made a big deal out of nothing? Like, could I go do floor routine? Because I think just the adrenaline, just obviously I felt something click and it was dodgy, but I didn't feel loads and loads of pain. So it wasn't until I flew home and I got the results from the MRI scan, and it said it was an ACL tear. I mean, it hit me then because they said it would be about a year or 18 months out. But I didn't really realise how serious like the whole operation was and the process of getting back.
Yeah, she had a surgery a few weeks later, or a couple of weeks later. They have to wait for all the swelling to go down. And then it's just down to rehab, and a lot of rehab and meticulous time and time again. We're quite lucky that Gabby is very meticulous in her rehab, but it's a long journey. It's a massive journey to undertake because you have to learn to walk again on that leg. She lost all the muscle in her leg, and the work that she had to do to build it up was very, very hard.
So it was quite a slow process, and it was frustrating, but the little tiny steps in your rehab that you achieved got you through. I remember I cycled on the bike for the first time, and it was just such an achievement. I mean, it's only small, but it was just. It was my first process of like a big injury and doing the rehab. So, I mean, it wasn't too like draining and tedious because I hadn't done it before. I think just seeing how well the other girls were doing, I wanted to be there with them. And also I was only 15, so I felt like I hadn't achieved what I wanted to achieve. And I don't know, I don't think you realise how hard it is to get back from a big injury until you've had one. I thought it would be fine, I'm going to come back, get back quick, be the fastest ACL rehabber like there is, but it just doesn't work like that because you get all these added little injuries come in just from the impact your body is not used to from being out for so long. So in the end, like, your knees sometimes aren't the problem, it's the other things that come on. Us coming in, supporting with her, sitting with her on
every day, every single day. It would be myself or my wife would sit with her, mainly Annie, and would talk to her and go through the rehab, and was with her all the way. And it was tough, but she's just driven. She wanted to get back. She wasn't done with the sport, and that's what she wanted. She knew it was a long journey, and it was only then so many weeks before she could go on a strap bar, and then so many more weeks before she could then go on normal bars. And it was tough. It was really tough. Mentally, it was draining. I don't think there was a day in the first 6 to 12 weeks where she wasn't very upset and in tears over the situation. But that's what you have to do. As a coach, you support them through the good and the bad, and we try to take her through and get her out the other side, and we've done that.
And then about just less than a year down the line, I tore my meniscus again. So that was hard because I'd worked my way back, and then to get knocked back again was just like, it's just another setback that you don't need. I remember coming back and doing trials for Worlds, and it was a bit of a push to get back to make the team for Worlds. I had quite sore shins, so from obviously being out not doing the impact, and just competitions weren't going great. They were okay, but they weren't as good as what they were previous to my ACL tear. So there was doubts that I might not be able to compete as well as I used to be able to, or I don't know, just when you're out all the girls are pushing and you're slowly creeping back up, but it takes a while. So I did have doubts. I was anxious. I didn't really think I was going to make the World's team.
We got just fit enough for our World's trials, and she did a really good job, and she was at that time we got her back to 4 pieces, not quite to the level that we would have liked, but it was good enough, and she was selected to go to China in Nanning.
It was amazing to be part of the World's team because I'd been out for a while, and obviously the girls had been to the Europeans, Commonwealths, and they'd all had made this big bond, and there's quite an emphasis in GBR with teamwork and working together, and so I felt like they'd all bonded, and I'd been out for a while and I wasn't really part of that. So to come back and make the World's team, it was just so nice to finally to train with them and go away with them. But it was so scary to be to perform at the Worlds, just because I hadn't had many competitions building up to it. And I remember I was put up first on bars, and it was our first piece in the team final, and I just thought I'd better start this off good for the whole team, and it was just so much pressure because I hadn't done many bar routines in competition before that, so it was very scary. After Worlds, was back into the gym, and I wanted to start building up my routines, trying to get a bit more difficulty.
It was a few weeks before our start of our European trials, and we were in the gym, and she was working her Shap half on bars. I
felt like I had something to prove, try and put out my big routines. So in training I was on bars and I went for a Shap half, and then I landed dodgy on my knee, and then I tore my other ACL on my other leg.
But she knew straight away. She knew immediately that it happened, and that was tough. That was really tough, and we didn't know if we could actually get through the second one.
You just know that feeling. Once you've done it once, you know you've done it again. But then my coach came and sat with me and was like, you might be fine, you never know, because I'm quite sensitive to my pain in my knees now. If I do something, I know something's wrong. But I might overreact sometimes. She was like, it might be fine, you never know. And then I went to get it scanned the next day, and then I remember the phone call. My mum got a phone call from the doctor, and she came in and said I'd torn my other ACL. And I just couldn't believe it. It was so upsetting, but I just tried to think that it is what it is. You can't change it. You can either sit here and get down and get depressed, or you start and you be positive and you try and get back again.
But that was a really, really tough time for her. Really tough. I thought at that stage that could have been it. And you don't see many kids come back from those 2 major surgeries like that. But she's a tough kid.
it goes. I just knew I hadn't done what I wanted to do. And also after the first ACL, I think I was a bit scared and a bit negative with coming back, whereas this time around I was just like, if you change your approach to it, it might be easier and be more positive, and I don't know, it might not take as long.
No, she said from straight away, she I think initially she was like, I don't know if I can do this again, and then she was like, no, I've still got Rio, that's what I'm still aiming for, I've still got time, it's not brilliant timing, but I know I can do it.
The second time round was a lot easier. I just, from the start, I think because I'm older, you just knew what to expect. Like, you knew when you could push your body further, you knew when you could add another skill in. I just wasn't as scared to do skills. I knew my knees could take it once they're strong enough. And we also made the rehab a bit quicker because I could either do it the same as last time and take it really slowly and make sure I did it properly, or I could try and speed it up a little bit and try and get back for this year. And so it was just mentally so much easier.
I think just the skill level that they're doing now is it's massive, and it doesn't have to actually go on a big skill. You see a lot of them go on, double twist Yuchenkos. You see them go quite a few majors. You'll be seeing ACL tears happen. But Gabby's first one, was, if you put it down just to the dismount itself, the round off, it could have gone on. And the second one, it's just the landing. It's just unfortunate. I can understand if gymnasts have bad techniques and things like that on what they're doing, but Gabby's not. She hasn't got very bad techniques. She's quite a clean, tidy gymnast. It's just unfortunate. And if you've got a predisposition for that ACL to go, then it was going to go. We're in that situation where they're both gone now. They're done. They're fixed. They're mended. We've rehabbed. They're very strong, and we're hoping from now on we not have any problems with the knees. Touch wood.
It's hard when you have these big injuries, because coming back you think you're doing well and then you get a niggle and you pick up another little injury, and it takes time. I think the hardest thing has been watching the girls, because GB have come up a lot in the last few years and they're doing so well, and it's amazing to watch them, and you wish them all the best. It's just amazing, but there's part of you that wishes you were part of that as well. And I think that's what motivates you, though, to come back and try and be part of that. Winning the British Bars title was just amazing. Because I don't know, I hadn't had a competition where I'd done the routine I really wanted to do. I hadn't produced the scores I knew I could produce, because training had been going really well. And also at the British I was meant to compete beam as well, but I just picked up a little niggle on my knee, so I couldn't do beam. So it was all pressure on doing that bar routine. So to do it and to score a PB was just like, I think it really boosted my confidence, like knowing I can do it. And that was a massive thing, because I think that's my main downfall, is just I need proof that I can do it before I believe I can.
I think after her injuries, it's the ability to go out there and prove to everyone again that she's still worthy as a gymnast. She feels that she's not achieved enough and she wants to achieve more. And she wants to go out there and show everyone that she can still do it at the highest level. I mean, that's what really drives her.
I think after my injuries, I've learnt to try and enjoy it a bit more, to not get so worked up with competitions and squads and stuff, because we do it for fun, and there's no point stressing and building yourself up because it ends up not being fun. Then you don't do the work that you want to do, and just, I don't know, just try and work as hard as I can, give it 100%, and have fun really.
We've got to be positive about anything that she does from now on. Okay, so we've got to, we'd love an aim for Gabby is she'd love to be in the GB team for Rio for sure. But it's such tough standard. They're so high. We've got some amazing gymnasts out there with Ellie Downey, Rebecca, Tunny and Downey and Frags and Amy. There's some really good kids, and like Ruby's bars are phenomenal. So, but we know that's what we're up against. So that's our first aim, is that what we're trying to go towards. But after that, I think if she gets in or doesn't get in, I think she wants to carry on. I think she's not done yet with gymnastics. She'd like to do more European, she'd like to do more World Championships, and the Commonwealth Games she'd like to do as well.
My main goal is to hopefully make the Olympic team. But I know I've worked as hard as I can trying to get back from this injury, and so if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, then I think it would be hard, but you just have to be positive and think there are other competitions, Europeans, Worlds, in the next few years that you could go for. Never give up on something you really want. It's difficult to wait, but it's more difficult to regret.